everyone, welcome back to TBM Sports. Let's talk Friday college football. I have two best bets for you guys. We have 4 games in play, so let's break it all down and get right into the picks. If you have not yet, hit that like button or subscribe to the channel. Please do so right now. Thank you all, and I do want to give thanks for all of my returning and my supporters, my subscribers, channel members, all of you guys that have been loyal to me throughout the years. It does mean a lot. Can't do without you. Excited for a huge Saturday slate in college football as well, so make sure you have that notification bell turned on and be sure to follow me on all socials, and let's get into the picks, okay? So we will use Outlier to break this all down. If you do not have Outlier, 7-day free trial, that link is down below in the description. But let's start with the first game in action, Louisville taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Now, this is something where we have to look into kind of what these teams do best. And for Louisville, if you do want to kind of get into that argument, they're probably the worst, one of the worst 4-1 teams we have in the market. They have been more so lucky than good, in my opinion. They did win a lot of close games, and if you do consider some of the, precursors to their conference schedule, such as Bowling Green, James Madison, Eastern Kentucky, those were a little bit more of a margin of victory. But since playing Pitt on the road in UVA, that's kind of a testament to, I think maybe so Pitt, they are a scrappy young bunch, and I think that Virginia, they can play offense with pretty much anyone, as we've seen kind of what they did against Florida State. But I want to talk about this game because the ACC is pretty much right there in front of us. Miami is the clear-cut class of the ACC. You could make the argument that Clemson is starting to kind of figure out who they are, but still I do look for Miami and Mario Cristobal to kind of take care of business down there in South Beach, okay? But as we look at this game, 13.5 is a big number. We have looked at this basically climb from a 7.5 point open to a 13.5 point number, and I'm not going to chase the number. That's some horrible closing line value. I do think Miami does cover the 13.5. It's just not going to be a bet for me officially. Also, the backdoor is in play. Miami on defense, they stop the run very, very well. Okay, top 25 in run stop and efficiency. And as we look at Louisville, I think they're going to hit a brick wall there in South Beach, okay? Just how I feel about it, as we look at kind of what Miami did last week, playing at Florida State, I was actually shocked that Florida State scored until basically the foot came off the gas pedal for Miami and allowed them to kind of sneak their way back almost into a backdoor cover. But we did see Miami cover and win that game outright, 28-22. I think that's a very valuable data point because if you do take away what Florida State did late, I think it really alludes to the fact that Miami is a top 5 team here in college football, and holding Florida to 7 points, holding South Florida to 12, I think is a little bit more noteworthy. I just don't think Louisville scores here in this spot, especially after Cristobal is going to be on his guys for, almost kind of not finishing through the line, if you will. Okay, so that's some coach speak for you guys, but I do think that Miami will cover this 13.5. If this number was still around 7, even below a 10, I would be betting this, but I'm not going to go chasing this as a backdoor is in play. But if I had to give you guys a strong lean, Miami minus 13.5 would be one of those plays. Nebraska and Minnesota, I don't have a play in this game. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens there for Matt Rule and company. A lot of distractions, I'll just say that. James Franklin's out, maybe going back to his alma mater, and I would not be shocked for a minute. And personally, I'll just be honest with you guys. The way the money is here in the NFL, buyouts mean absolutely nothing. Who cares, okay? If I'm Matt Rule right now, I'm not going to the pros. I'm going back to Happy Valley. That's where I would be personally. If I played at Penn State and the coaching spot comes open where I started my coaching career as an assistant, this would be a very hard argument for me not to find my way back there in State College, okay? So that's just how I see it playing out. I'm not touching this game. It may be a little bit of a distraction. It may be a motivator, but it's college football. These are 17, 18 to 21-year-olds, okay? So for all things considered, this is pretty much where they don't have the capacity to kind of get involved with some of the noise that the coaches do and have to deal with. But he's a veteran. He's a proven, career coach. I do think Matt Rule does well here. Personally, I like Nebraska. I think that they're a very sneaky 5-1 team. I don't like them. I think Dylan Raiola give them some players, but just they don't have it there from the skill position standpoint that they need to have for him to be maybe hit his potential from that ranking coming into this, okay? But Nebraska was able to take down Maryland on the road in a little bit of a shootout. That's a great data point, beating Michigan State at home, almost beating Michigan in a comeback, but all things considered, I just don't know who Nebraska is right now, okay? So this will be a good one going against PJ Fleck and company as the Golden Gophers. All right, 7.5-point dogs at home. For me, guys, this is something where I do think this might be a little bit lower scoring game. That's just how I stack up. 46.5 is right where I would have that number about. So I'm not going to play it. Minnesota coming off a big win against Purdue. It's a big win for them. It's not really a big win overall, but if Nebraska plays the game that they should, I don't think that they will have any trouble covering that 7.5. But we have seen this tick down from a 9.5 open where you could have gotten Minnesota plus 9.5. Then that's a whole different conversation. But as long as you get that touchdown with Minnesota, I don't mind that. And it's just kind of right where it needs to be. Okay, so just a little too many points for me to get involved. If this was under 7, I'd be on Nebraska. Over 7, I'm on Minnesota. Okay, that's just where I stack up. No official play and a small, teeny lean towards the under here in this game. Okay, next game, San Jose State and Utah State. All right, this will be my first official play. We're going to go over that total, 64.5. Both of these teams coming off of a loss. I'll tip my cap when I was wrong. Utah State going out there playing that late night game against Hawaii. They got their ass kicked, and unfortunately, I was one of the biggest losers there, as it was one of my favorite plays of the last weekend slate. And sometimes the ball doesn't bounce in your direction, okay? But, it is what it is. I think they had 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Utah State was down 26-27. And I think this is kind of where you look at this number, 3.5 here for the Aggies. San Jose State keeps things close to the vest. As we look at some of their games here, you can talk about the numbers, and quite frankly, they're very close games against subpar competition. They are probably going to step up playing Utah State. When Utah State does play this game at home, all right, they win outright a lot of the time. Okay, the only thing I'll tell you guys is that 3 and a hook. If you can find Utah State -3, I kind of lend in that direction. I think they get right, but like I said, both of these teams need to get right. They're both coming off of a loss, but I think the best way to approach this game is simply put, guys, if Utah State last week, I know is a kind of a weird spot, gives up 44 points to Hawaii, I think San Jose State and their offensive attack is going to be able to have some success as well. So I see no way that this does not go over the total. And quite frankly, I think that this number is just too low, but you can't really make it any higher. I would play this pretty much at 64.5 right now. If it gets up to like 67, then we're going to have to start talking about a pass. But I think both of these teams get into the 30s. So I will take the San Jose State, Utah State over 64.5 as one of my best bets. Okay. In the last game, we get the good one. I guess you can call it that. The California Bears wish they probably had Aaron Rodgers and the likes of Marshawn Lynch. But they're 4-2 on the year, and the only reason I say that is because they have an NFL legend coaching for North Carolina. Okay, so unfortunately, this game will be played in college, where Bill Belichick did not win a Super Bowl. And this is kind of where we look, or I think he had 6 or 7. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but nonetheless, NC, this is it, guys. This is the last stand for Bill, okay? The counts are, the buyouts already being discussed, the arrangements are being made. So how much effort, if you fall into anything with Bill Belichick, he does not like to lose. I don't care, probably, the competitive nature, I think, wins out in this one. And I did watch North Carolina play against TCU and a game in between where I did catch some glimpses, okay? And the one thing I'll tell you is they're bad, but I just don't understand how they're that bad. With the pieces they have set in place, losing 38-10 to Clemson, I understand that, okay? 34-9 to UCF, I don't understand that. And also the blowout to TCU, only able to beat Richmond and Charlotte, and also playing good defense there in those spots as well, okay? So kind of where I'm at within this game, though, I think that North Carolina and Bill Belichick kind of take care of business here. And as long as we get a 10 or more, I'm on the side of NC. I think this is kind of where we look for Bill's last stand. And this could be my ugly, sweated out, worst game, horrible pick. This could be my worst pick of the week, okay? But I'm taking North Carolina plus 10. I know it's ugly. Plus 10.5 you actually can find here in the market. So that will be my official play. Plus 10.5 at 115 there on ESPN Bet. And that's just how I see it playing out, okay? I know NC goes east to west. They are playing in Cal. They are on the road. It's going to be a late game, 10:30. So for all things considered, they're going to be playing this game. It's going to be a 1:30 body clock. So, you know, it is what it is. I do think this one will kind of be in favor of the Tar Heels, though. So give me North Carolina plus 10.5. It's ugly. It's ugly, I know, but I'm going to be taking North Carolina. Got to trust some kind of a number here. I just think that with Cal starting a true freshman as well, I just can't think that Bill Belichick will lose to a kid that played high school football last year. So if he has anything left in the tank, let's cover a 10.5. So give me North Carolina plus 10.5 here in this spot. All right. So that'll wrap it up. Those are my best bets for the Friday slate. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you haven't hit that like button or subscribed, perfect time to do so. Thank you once more, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.